colours in the one? Question? So C is for colour. And the last one is diameter. Alright? And I reckon this is probably the more common one people know and remember. Diameter is the little spots that are getting bigger and bigger. Alright? It starts out as one size, and then as you're getting older, could be weeks, could be months, could be years, it's actually noticed that it started to grow. Alright? That's a telltale sign of a possible melanoma or non-melanoma. Okay? So, just with the person next to you, in an attempt to remember those off by heart, I want you to see if you can explain to the person next to you the A, B, C, and D methods of detection of melanoma. Try to do it without looking.
Hopefully I get enough back through.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's good, like if it's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, it's supposed to. Nah. It's good, because then anyone can access it at any time. Like, say they missed the lecture or whatever it might be. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Alrighty. So gentlemen, on our men's health night, when you're walking around to the rooms and you come across the skin cancer room and you're with your dad or whoever it might be, that might be one thing that you can do with them. In fact, it probably is going to be something that you're going to do with them. Do the A, B, C, D melanoma check. And go and find, alright, Dad, let's have a look at our arms. Let's have a look at some moles. Are we asymmetrical? What's the border like? Is there different colours in there? And do you know if this has gotten bigger over time? Okay? Something that we can do. Obviously, you wouldn't do a full body one, just for the appropriateness of it, but maybe at home. Causes. Causes. This is the big one. Okay? What causes skin cancer? It is UV. What creates UV? The sun. The sun creates UV. Outside, it's hot today. Is the UV going to be high or low? High. During the winter months, when the sun's out, is the UV going to be high or low? Right. Right. Hot temperature doesn't mean high UV, and low temperature doesn't mean low UV. I'm going to explain that now. UV ratings change throughout the day. It's not like, okay, the 10th of February is going to have a UV rating of 7 and it's going to last throughout the day. It does depend on the sun and other factors. During, mainly between 10 and 2 o'clock, this is an example, this is not a template for every day, this is an actual example of a day. But generally between 10 and 2 o'clock, when the sun's at its highest point, you're going to experience the highest parts of UV. In this example, it's saying from 6 to 8 and from around about maybe 4:30 to 6 o'clock, we're experiencing low index range of UV. Can anyone tell me at what point should you be wearing sunscreen? At what level index? UV, what number? No. Very quickly, I want you to raise your hand if you think it's 0 to 2. Raise your hand at 3 to 5. Raise your hand at 6 to 7. 8 to 10. And then 11 plus. Okay? You should be starting sunscreen if it's a rating of 3 or above. A rating 3 or above, You should be wearing sunscreen because the UV rays are strong enough to cause damage to our skin. At what time on this chart should you start putting sunscreen on if you're outside? What time? 4 in the morning. Let's go here. It's 6 o'clock a.m. Green indicates low, which is 0 to 2. It'll be lower. No. UV rays, UV at 4 in the morning would be about a 0. Alright, about 8:30. Yeah, maybe 8:30, 8:15. That's when it starts to go to moderate, and moderate is a range of 3 to 5. Yep, bang, we should be, if we're outside into the sun, we should put sunscreen on. When do we need to, or when can we stop?
6.
At what time? Alright, good. About that 4:30, 5 o'clock. So between the hours of 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, if you're out in the sun on this particular day, you should have sunscreen on.
What if you need to reapply when you do that?
Alright, we'll get into reapplying sunscreens and the different types of sunscreens in a moment. Okay? Because it's all very different. Okay? UV rays, gentlemen, not the temperature. You need to get that out of your mind. It has nothing to do with the temperature outside, and it's nothing to do with cloud cover. It's about the UV rays. Who's got their phone on them? If you've got your phone on you, this wasn't a trick to say, give me your phone, you're not meant to have it. Grab your phone out, and I want you to download the app Sun Cancer. Oh, this is the Cancer Cancel Sun. Good. Feel free to log into the Wi-Fi of guest Wi-Fi master as well. The SunSmart one, it is, looks like this, okay? Let's have a guess. It is what, meant to be 36 degrees today? What do you think the highest UV ratings will be today? What do we reckon? 11 plus? Anyone think lower than 11? Let's find out. Our current UV is at 5. At 10:22, it's at 5. Should we be putting sunscreen on? Yes. It's above 3. 3 and above. So yes. Max UV will be at 12. So maximum. Today, you need sunscreen outside. Otherwise, you're at risk of getting burned. It is recommended that sun protection, so it's not just sunscreen, but I'll go through more of that later, from 9:40 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. if you're outside. Brilliant app. If you're somebody who plays a lot of cricket or footy outside or any other sports, baseball, whatever it might be, or you're someone who's outside, yes, I can go through lots of other sports as well, or you're just outside a lot in general, you love gardening, I don't know. This app I recommend because you can very simply just get it to send you a notification in the morning going, yep, sunscreen is required between now and then. UV is going to be this high. If you're going to the beach, you can check out the UV. Yes, questions?
If you're trying to get sunburn or you're really pale or something,
Yep.
you put sunscreen on early.
Alright, that's another factor that we're going to talk about in regards to different skin varieties, because that is a factor. Not so much to put it on any earlier, but maybe the reapplication of it. Okay, so I'll go through that. Mitchell? You have a- Yeah, absolutely. Sorry?
Mine says 11.
It's meant to be high, mate. It's meant to be high. Alright. So, the UV rays from the sun causes skin cancer. Some other things. I need to talk to you guys about sunburns. Something that I got told when I was in university, I had a cancer council came out talking about skin cancer, because as a PE teacher, where are we a lot of the day? We're outside. PE teachers are one of the highest people prone to skin cancer, and at the end of every year, highest occupation of getting skin cancer. along with tradies, but PE teachers, absolutely, along with also beach lifeguards. I talked about sunburn. Someone raised the point. When I get a sunburn, I tan up. Other person raised the point. I get a sunburn and I blister. I'm different, everyone's different. I want to explain something to you. When you get a sunburn, even though it might peel, or it might just tan, or whatever it might be, your skin constantly regenerates. Every day, dead skin is being wiped away. If you do this, you can't see it, but you're actually wiping away dead skin. Great, great. Follicles of that's going to be all throughout the lecture video now. Thanks. But every day that comes through, and people go, but if I get a burn, I sometimes recover really well. And then I'm good, and it's tan, and it's awesome. I want you to think about your skin being a blank piece of paper. Pretend this is blank. A blank piece of paper, and your skin regenerating is like you putting that blank piece of paper in a photocopying machine. You put it in, it's blank, you photocopy it, new skin's coming out, and it's still blank. As soon as you get a sunburn, whether it's a bad one or a good one, there is no such thing. A burn is a burn. As soon as you get it, that's like marking this piece of paper with pen or texter. You mark it. Now, it's going to tan, it's going to peel, it's going to do whatever. But your skin regenerates. And every time it goes through the photocopier, that scar, that burn, that damage comes out as well. You might not be able to see it, but it's permanently there. After every sunburn, your skin is permanently damaged. Can't cure it, you can't fix it. Now let's say you keep getting burnt from the same spot. Let's say your nose. You always forget to sunscreen your nose. And that gets burnt. It gets burnt again and again over several years. You might be someone that's lucky. Doesn't come out with a melanoma. You could be someone that gets unlucky and after one burn, bang, you've got something you've got to deal with. Point is, gentlemen, the whole saying of there's nothing healthy about a tan, there's a reason for it. Because to get tan, your skin burns. And after every burn, your skin is permanently damaged. So we need to protect it. Your skin protects your organs. It is an organ, and it protects your body from diseases by covering everything. It's your first line of defense. So we need to protect it as well. Tanning. Massive misconception. Some people decide to use fake tans, which, if you want to look orange, by all means. However, that is a much better method than getting a natural tan outside. A much better method. But if you use fake tan, which I would assume not too many of you gentlemen will, concerning to hear people saying, yes I do, but that does not act as sunscreen. Don't think, oh well I've got a fake tan going on, I'm protected by the sun. That's incorrect. That doesn't act as sunscreen. Some of the fake tans might have SPF plus 15, so a little bit of protection. It's not enough. You still need to have sunscreen. And the last one, which is, I can't believe it took so long for this to be banned, but solariums. Does anyone know what a solarium is? Yep? Yeah, it's a sunbed. It's the old thing where you lie down in it, you close the lid, and you've got these lights, and they generate UV. And you would get a UV tan. They caused so much damage to people, and they created so much skin cancer. There was a person that sued the solarium when it was unknown that solariums cause skin cancer. And the thing is, this girl took a video diary of herself. Each day, progressively. Normal, healthy young girl. Educated. Went to uni. Had a job. Had a relationship. Good family. Everything that's normal about a person. This person went to a solarium and thought, you know, this is a good idea to get a tan. They got diagnosed with skin cancer. Inoperable. Couldn't cure it. And over time, she deteriorated. And then she died. It was shattering. And it was all because it was uneducation about what solariums can do. Now there is a ban. Solariums and all that. Different parts of the world, and different parts of even Australia, they are still, but it's becoming less and less. If anyone ever says, I go to a solarium, tell them they're an idiot. Tell them all you're doing is paying to get skin cancer. It's exactly what you're doing.